He's a very saintly Vaishnava who spends a lot of his time studying the Shastras, and he'll be able to very beautifully navigate us through Lord Jagannath's snan yatra pastimes and other beautiful glories of Lord Jagannath. So let's raise both our hands. Are you all ready? And we're going to say Hari Bol 3 times and welcome Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Together. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you so much.
Jaya Radha Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, let us chant our Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Dear devotees, we are very fortunate that Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra is coming up very soon, and His Grace Vedasar Prabhu asked me to speak on the topic of Snan Yatra. We will be speaking more about Snan Yatra as we approach Snan Yatra, because Snan Yatra happens on Purnima, and we are going to have our Snan Yatra celebrations like we do every year in New Panyati Dham before the Rath Yatra. So we'll speak in detail about Snan Yatra at that time. But I will give a small synopsis of what Snan Yatra is about, and then I will speak something that is probably not appropriate to speak publicly, but today I feel inspired to speak something from my heart. So I will speak that. Snan Yatra is a very, very important festival for all of us, because we have their lordships, Shri Shri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra and Sudarshan Ji on our altar. And Snana Yatra is their appearance day. Just like Janmashtami is the appearance day of Lord Krishna, Gaur Purnima is the appearance day of Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Snana Yatra is the tithi, the day when Shri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra and Sudarshan Ji appeared in Shri Jagannath Puri, answering the prayers and devotion of Maharaj Indradyumna. This was many, many yugas ago. So on Snana Yatra day, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra and Sudarshan, they are brought outside the temple on a specially constructed mandap called Snana Mandap. And very pure nectarian water is collected from very sacred and secret wells and lakes and rivers deep into the forest of Orissa. These are water bodies where even animals don't go. And special water, pure water is procured for the Snan Yatra. And then the Pandas, the pujaris of Lord Jagannath, they further sanctify this water with different herbs and articles like turmeric. And then, in full public view, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, on that elevated Snana Mandap, they are given a ceremonial bath, going on for several hours. And it is done on the early morning hours of Purnima Tithi in the month of Jeshta, which is coming up. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra are bathed with very beautiful, different holy waters, while there is beautiful kirtan of the holy names. And wonderful musical instruments are played, and it is broadcasted live on television every year, the Snan Yatra. And during Snan Yatra, you can see Lord Jagannath, his divine color, it gets somewhat washed up. Because Lord Jagannath, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing for our benefit in a wooden form. And his form is marked with natural colors, not oil-based artificial colors from the market. These are natural minerals and dyes which are used to paint Jagannath. So naturally the water washes away some of this paint. And immediately Jagannath ji, he is dressed in a Ganapati vesh called Gaja vesh. And there is a beautiful pastime which we will discuss later on when we have the full discussion on Snan Yatra. After that, Jagannath, he performs his Leela, his pastime of falling sick. And that is called Anavasara. For a fortnight, Jagannath is taken to a secret location where very special pujaris of Jagannath, they nurse him back to health by giving him a very special diet consisting of fruits and certain medicinal drinks. After Jagannath fully recovers, of course he is again repainted by the Daitas, by the servants of Jagannath. He is repainted, and that is called as Nava Yavanam. He comes out fresh, like a youth. And then all the devotees have not had his darshan for a fortnight. So the devotees are in separation from Jagannath. Their utkantha, their eagerness to see Jagannath has gone up tremendously. So as soon as Jagannath comes out, he says, now I want to go on Rath Yatra. And that will be our Rath Yatra and Panihati festival, which is coming. So this is a very beautiful pastime, and it has deep significance. And I would like to discuss something from my heart, which generally I have not spoken this publicly, but today I feel inspired to speak. So please bear with me. Today is Sunday, and the last weekend, a week ago, was a very special tithi. It was the tithi of a very great acharya called Shri Shyamananda Prabhu. He is a very important acharya in our sampradaya. He was a disciple of Shri Hriday Chaitanya Goswami of Ambika Kalna from our Mayapur Dham. And his Shiksha Guru was Srila Jiva Goswami. So I would like to glorify Srila Shyamananda Prabhu because he has a very deep relationship, very interesting relationship with the Snan Yatra as well as our most revered, beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Shri Srimad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ji. Very interesting connection and link. So I would like to discuss that. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Nityananda Prabhu had a very intimate associate called Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit is one of the Dwadasha Gopals of Krishna Leela. He is an incarnation of Subal Sakha. Subal Sakha is a Priya Narma Sakha of Krishna, which means he is a very intimate friend of Krishna, Subal Sakha. In fact, the Gopashtami festival that we have every year during Kartik, it is one of the two tithis of the year where in some temples the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani are visible to our eyes. But the pujaris, they are always so fortunate that they can have darshan of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet every day. But we are not so fortunate. But on those two tithis, all of us, on Radhashtami and Gopashtami, we can see. So this Gopashtami Leela, when Srimati Radharani dressed up as Subal Sakha, that's why her lotus feet are visible. She dressed up as a cowherd boy. So that is that Subal Sakha who came as Gauridas Pandit in Gaur Leela. And he lived at Ambika Kalana. Many times he invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu to come to his house for prasad. And Mahaprabhu would say, yes, I will come, I will come. But Mahaprabhu is busy with his Ashtakali Leela in Navadvip. Day and night he is doing kirtan with his associates. He never found the time to cross Ganga and go to Ambika Kalna to honor the invitation of Gauridas Pandit. Finally, Gauridas Pandit felt so dejected. He said, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda will never come to my house. They never accept my invitation. Alright, I will give up eating and drinking and I will not go in any of the kirtans of Mahaprabhu. I will not go to Nadia and I will just not see Mahaprabhu now. He closed his doors, went into Man, transcendently angry at Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu came to know this, he told Nitai, get a boat, let's go. Let's cross the river and go to Ambika. So Gaur Nitai, they got into a boat and Mahaprabhu himself held the oars of that boat and rowed the boat across Ganga, went to Ambika Kalna. They knocked on the door of Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit opened the door. He was so blissful to see his Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu at his doorstep. He said, Mahaprabhu, you finally came. You accepted my invitation. Please come, please come. He was so blissful. He invited Gaur Nitai in his house and immediately got busy cooking for them. His mood was to cook and feed Gaur Nitai very nicely. So he cooked and he fed them and they ate everything that was offered with great bliss. And then Mahaprabhu said, well, now I have to go, but I will not go like that. You see, I use this oar to oar myself, to row the boat across the Ganga. I brought it for you. You keep this. And he had a pothi. He had a grantha wrapped in a red cloth. It was Bhagavad Gita. But this was Bhagavad Gita that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself had written down with his own pearl-like handwriting. And he said, this is Bhagavad Gita written by me, all 700 verses, you keep it. You keep it. Now Mahaprabhu was going to take sannyas very soon. Gauridas Pandit did not know. Mahaprabhu did not want to tell him. But he knew that he will feel so much separation. So let me give him my oar, let me give him my grantha Bhagavad Gita. You think Gauridas Pandit was satisfied with this? When Mahaprabhu and Nityananda started leaving, he started crying. He said, please, you look good when you come. You don't look good when you go. Don't go. Please, stay with me. He started crying like a small child. Mahaprabhu didn't have the heart to walk away. He sat down. He said, Gauridas, whenever you think of me, I will be with you. Mahaprabhu, don't do that word jugglery with me. You did that with the gopis and you left Vrindavan. Don't leave me and go, please. Mahaprabhu said, when I dance with the gopis in Rasa Leela, I expand myself into millions of Krishnas and I dance with each gopi, millions of gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani. So I will expand myself into one more set of Gaur Nitai. So Nityananda Prabhu became two and Mahaprabhu became two. Our Gaur Nitai, they manifested one more pair of Gaur Nitai. Two jodis. So one pair stayed with Gauridas Pandit and one pair started walking away. It's a beautiful pastime where Gauridas Pandit said, no, you don't go, you stay. These statues can go. Then the statues started walking away and Gaur Nitai stood there as statues. Gauridas Pandit again said, no, I made a mistake. Please, wait. You go and you stay. Don't go. Because he wanted deities that will walk with him, talk with him, reciprocate with him, to stay with him. Finally, it happened many times that Mahaprabhu said, listen Gauridas, don't you understand? There is no difference between me and my deity. As far as you are concerned, I will stay with you in a form that talks to you, walks with you, eats whatever you cook. I will fully reciprocate with you. But this adhikar, this qualification, everyone doesn't have. So after you leave, I will become statue. But as long as you are on this planet, both of us will stay with you in sakshat form, actual. We will be talking with you, eating with you, walking with you, everything. So one pair of Gaur Nitai stayed with Gauridas Pandit and one pair went back to Nadia. All his life, Gauridas Pandit served his Gaur Nitai. They were his life and soul. They were his Ishtadevs. Now he started getting old. But still, it was his rule that every day he would cook 56 items. Now please remember, in those days there was no MTR masala. There was no frozen chopped vegetables that you just thaw and throw it in the chop. You have to get each and every ingredient, make it with your own hands, grind it, grow the vegetables, harvest them, wash them, cut them, take the grains and grind them into powder and make chapatis, make rice. Everything you have to do with your own hands, and he had no assistant. Because bhakti is a path where you want to do for Krishna in a very personal way. You don't delegate. In the corporate world, we delegate. Hey, you do, I'm manager, you do this. We create teams. We delegate everything. That is not how bhakti works. Bhakti is very personal. For your deities, you want to do it yourself. One time, one devotee went to one of our gurus, our ISKCON Guru Varga, and he said that I made a mistake. There was an evening Bhagavad Gita class in the temple, I wanted to come, but it was also time to wake up my Gaur-Nita in the evening and give them their fruit offering of the evening. But I had to come, I was getting late for the Gita class, so I told my servant to offer it. This happened in India. I told my servant to offer it. When I came back from the satsang, the servant offered me Mahaprasad, and there was orange, there was apple, and there was a banana. But this servant had not peeled the banana. He had offered the banana with the peel to Gaur-Nita. I got very angry. I threw the banana plate away. What is this? You think Krishna will eat it with the peel? Don't you know how to offer? Haven't you seen me? You have to cut the vegetable, cut the fruits, and offer a nice fruit plate so Krishna can directly eat. This is not the way to offer. And then he immediately realized, what did he do? He threw the Mahaprasad away in anger. So he came and in a public class, he apologized to Maharaj. Maharaj, I made this aparadh. Maharaj said there are two aparadhs. One is a small aparadh and one is a big aparadh. The small aparadh is that you threw the Mahaprasad plate away. But still, you did that out of love for your Ishta, out of love for Gaur-Nita, because you wanted Gaur-Nita to be served properly. So your anger stemmed from that attachment to your deities. So that is a small offense. But the bigger offense is, you did not make the offering yourself and you delegated it to someone who doesn't have love for your Gaur-Nita. So the point is that service is very personal. Gauridas Pandit was, even though he was old, his eyesight was weak, his hands were trembling, his joints were arthritic, still he continued to do everything for his deities himself. Gaur-Nita told him, just give us some rice and some shark. You don't have to make all these 56 items. We love you. Just give us some rice, we'll be happy. You don't have to labor so hard. It pains us to see you laboring for hours, cooking for us every day. Gauridas Pandit said, I will not reduce the standard of my worship. I will not reduce the standard of my offerings. No. If you want, if you feel pain watching me laboring so hard, give me some assistant. Give me some assistant. And immediately, one brahmachari walked in. He offered obeisances to Gauridas Pandit and said, Guru Maharaj, please accept me as your servant. I want to assist you. Gaur-Nita had sent that brahmachari. And Gaur-Nita would play every day with Gauridas Pandit. Because they have Sakhya Bhava. Subal Sakha is Sakhya Bhava. So they play. They would play hide and seek. So one day, it was a turn of Gaur-Nita to hide. And it was a turn of Gauridas Pandit to seek, to find them. And they would play it in the house only. Because you cannot show people outside that Gaur-Nita are talking and walking. So these are confidential pastimes. And the brahmachari was sitting in a corner, like our Prabhu is sitting, cross-legged. He was sitting and watching his Guru Maharaj Gauridas Pandit playing hide and seek with Gaur-Nita. He was watching. And Gaur-Nita was playing with Gauridas Pandit, hide and seek. So Gaur-Nita hid and Gauridas Pandit could not find them. He started searching everywhere. Gaur-Nita, where are you? Where are you? Searched every nook and corner, he couldn't find. He opened the temple door, went outside, searched in the courtyard, searched everywhere, behind trees, in the trees, behind bushes. He just couldn't find Gaur-Nita. Started feeling separation from his deity. Started calling out, Gaur-Nita, where are you? Where are you? He asked his brahmachari student, did you see Gaur-Nita? And he was just sitting smiling, looking at his Gurudev. He didn't say anything. He said, where is Gaur-Nita? I cannot live without him. Started crying. Gauridas Pandit started crying. Gaur-Nita, where are you? Where are you? Finally, he was about to give up his life in separation from Gaur-Nita. And Gaur-Nita jumped out of the heart of that brahmachari and said, we were hiding in his heart. we were hiding in his heart. So Gauridas Pandit was very much relieved. He embraced the brahmachari, said, you are so pure that Gaur-Nita hid in your heart. From today your name will be Your name will be Hridaya Chaitanya Das. That Das, that servant in whose heart Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Shri Nityananda Prabhu took shelter. Hridaya Chaitanya Das. So that brahmachari became Hridaya Chaitanya. Srila Gauridas Pandit entered the Nitya Leela and Hridaya Chaitanya took over the service of Gaur Nitai. He was also worshipping Gaur Nitai with great love. Some distance away from Ambika Kalna, a very wonderful boy took birth to very devoted parents. The parents were great devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had disappeared from this world just 5 years ago, and this child was born. But before he was born, several other children took birth and died. So the parents were very concerned that this boy will also die. So they named him Dukhi. Dukhi. Such a Dukhi means one who is very sad. Such a name was given so that Yamaraj will have mercy and not take his life. Dukhi. Arey Dukhi, chodo. Leave him. He is already Dukhi. Why kill him? So he was named Dukhi, and all the villagers were calling him Dukhiya, Dukhiya. But this Dukhiya grew up hearing Gaur Nitai Leela, the pastimes of Gaur Nitai. And different devotees would come from Nadia to his village, and there would be Gaur Katha in the village. And this little Dukhi grew up hearing that Gaur Katha. One day, some pilgrims came. They did very beautiful Gaur Katha from Chaitanya Bhagavat. And then they said, now we are going to Ambika to take darshan of a very great devotee. His name is Hridaya Chaitanya. And they narrated the pastime of Gaur Nitai in the house of Gauridas Pandit and how Hridaya Chaitanya. So when this Dukhiya heard this story, he said, I immediately accept that Hridaya Chaitanya as my Guru Maharaj. Oh sadhus, will you please take me with you to Ambika? I want to come with you. He took permission from his parents and accompanied the sadhus to Ambika Kalna. Fell at the feet of Hridaya Chaitanya and accepted Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami as his spiritual master. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, I accept you as my disciple. You be Krishna Das. So from today your name will be Krishna Das. But he was called Dukhi. So his name became Dukhi Krishna Das. Dukhi Krishna Das, yes. He became Dukhi Krishna Das. He asked his, now listen carefully. This is the heart of today's discussion. Dukhi Krishna Das asked his spiritual master Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, what is my seva? What is my service? Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, this is the mandir of Gaur Nitai. This is their property. You see all these acres and acres of land, this is all property of Gaur Nitai. You grow tulsi, you grow flowers, you grow vegetables and grains for Gaur Nitai. They should have their own kitchen garden. Why should we buy from others? They should have their own kitchen garden, own tulsi leaves, tulsi materials, flowers, fruits, vegetables, grains. You grow. So Dukhi Krishna Das spent all his time cultivating that garden. He would go to the nearby Ganga, fill his earthen pots with water, put it on his head, and he would come running to the garden and he would water. Water the crops, water the vegetables, water the tulsi plant. Day and night he would work, single-handedly. And when he would carry the water pot, some water would drip, because he would be climbing up, running, water would fill, fall down. And that was his snan yatra. He would bathe with that water and he would come and take care of the garden of Gaur Nitai. That was his bhajan, that was his life and soul. Day and night he was busy growing beautiful, beautiful flowers and vegetables and fruits for Gaur Nitai on the order of his spiritual master. He would be working all day in the garden to the extent that his Gurudev, Hridaya Chaitanya, did not see Dukhi Krishna Das for many days. Because he would be working constantly. He would just come, bring the vegetables, fruits, keep them outside the temple and go back to the garden. He was so busy. Beautiful flowers, beautiful fruits, vegetables were coming. But he was not there to spend time with his Gurudev. One day Gurudev said, Hridaya Chaitanya said, oh Dukhi Krishna Das, it has been so many days I have not seen you. Come here. Come here, I want to see you, I want to embrace you. I am so pleased with your devotional service. Dukhi Krishna Das came, he bowed down to his Gurudev. When he bowed down, his Gurudev saw that his head was bleeding. He was carrying all these water pots on his head. Because of the abrasions, he had wounds on his scalp, on his head. And there were worms in those wounds. And those worms were falling. And he had not even noticed them. He was not taking care of himself. He was completely engrossed in seva. Vyavasayatmaka buddhi ekeka kurunandana. He was one-pointedly doing service. He did not even realize that his body is sick. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami was so overwhelmed to see the dedication of his disciple. He embraced him tightly and touched his head repeatedly. My child, you need to take care of yourself, my child. And all the wounds immediately healed. Dukhi Krishnadas, all his wounds healed. He said, you didn't even realize that your head was bleeding and you had wounds and worms there, pus coming out. You didn't even realize? He said, Gurudev, really I did not realize. I was so ecstatic in the Guru Pradatta Seva, the Seva that you gave. Guru Pradatta Seva. I was so engrossed that I did not realize. Every flower that grows, I see Radha Shyam in them. Every fruit that grows, I see that this is meant for the pleasure of Radha Shyam Sundar. He said like that. I was totally busy, totally engrossed. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, you have attained the perfection of your life in this seva. The best thing I can do is to send you to the leader of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Do you know, my dear child? Today, the leader of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas lives in Shri Vrindavan Dham. He is the recipient of mercy of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu personally took him on Navadvip Parikrama. He is the recipient of the love and affection of Shri Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. When he was a mere child, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had placed his lotus foot on his head in Ramkeli. That great personality, that Mahapurush, is Shri Jiva Goswami. Today I will write a letter to Shri Jiva Goswami, and today itself you go to Vrindavan and you take shelter of Jiva Goswami. He will teach you Radha Krishna Upasana. He will teach you Radha Krishna Upasana. He will give you Vraj Bhakti. You go to Vrindavan, my child. You go to Vrindavan. Dukhi Krishnadas started crying. He fell at the feet of his Gurudev. He said, Gurudev, you are everything for me. You are my sarvasva. I cannot leave you. Gurudev said, if you want to please me, you go to Jiva Goswami and show him the letter that I write. And with his own hands, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami wrote a letter to Srila Jiva Goswami. Dukhi Krishnadas took that letter and went to Vrindavan. He went to Shri Radha Damodar temple and fell at the lotus feet of Jiva Goswami and gave that letter. That letter read, my dear Jiva Goswami, please accept this child of mine, Dukhi Krishnadas, as your own. And please teach him Radha Krishna Upasana. You see, because Gauridas Pandit and Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, they are in Sakhya Bhav. Whereas, when Dukhi Krishnadas said, in every flower I see Radha Krishna, his Gurudev understood that his Ishta is Radha Krishna. So to give him entrance into conjugal love, to give him entrance into Madhurya Prem, you need someone who is in that mood, who is in the Manjari Bhav. And therefore he sent Dukhi Krishnadas to Srila Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami said, you are the disciple of Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami from Ambika Kalna. It is my great fortune to serve you as your Shiksha Guru. Please come and you can take instructions from me. At that time, Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Srila Srinivas Acharya were also under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami. And these three became best friends. Dukhi Krishnadas, Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Srila Srinivas Acharya. One day, Dukhi Krishnadas asked Srila Jiva Goswami, what service is there for me? Srila Jiva Goswami said, the service for you, my dear Dukhi Krishnadas, is Sohini Seva. You understand what is Sohini Seva? Sweeping. Sweeping. He said, you clean Shri Vrajdham. Specifically, you go to Seva Kunj and you do Sohini Seva there, in Seva Kunj. You go to the Rasa Sthali. Every night there is Ras Leela of Radha and Krishna. And in the morning, in Vrindavan there is no litter. This is 500 years ago. There is no garbage there. So what do you clean in Sohini Seva? Srila Jiva Goswami explained. At night there is Ras Leela of Radha Shyam Sundar. Every night. And the gopis and manjaris, they are showering flower petals on Radha and Krishna as the Ras Leela is going on. So in the morning all those flowers are there strewn across the Rasamanda. You go and you clean them and prepare the Rasasthali for the next night's Raslila. This is your seva. But you must go there early in the morning, before the sun rises, before the devotees come, before the pilgrims come. You go and you clean. This is called Sohini Seva. And you do Sohini Seva. Shri Dukhi Krishna Das, he took the instruction of Shri Jiva Goswami to his heart. And every morning he would wake up and he would chant his japa. And then around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, he would go to Seva Kurush. And he would do Sohini Seva. He would do sweeping. Can you all think of some of our acharyas who did this Sohini Seva? Raise your hand if you can think. Yes, Prabhu.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Can you elaborate on that? Yes.
Yes, Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he did a Namarta program, and then all the devotees came and everything. He is the sweeper of Namarta. Arta means hut, budget, like a marketplace.
Jai Ho, Jai Ho,
And
Jai Ho.
our Guru Maharaj Jagannath Swami, when he was the president of Toronto, he also sweeping, worshipping, everything. He also take Sohini Seva.
Wonderful, wonderful. Any other examples of Sohini Seva? Sweeping service, cleaning. How about Dukhi Krishna Das's friend? We just mentioned there were 3 friends together.
Srinivas,
Yes?
Bhattacharya Maharaj was cleaning the Jain temple, he was sweeping the floor.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. Srila Jayapatra Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakticharya Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya. Yes. How about Narottam Das Thakur? Come on, all of you know this. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Sohini Seva. Who was the guru of Srila Narottam Das Thakur?
He was cleaning his back.
Yes. See, very much good. The place where Srila Lokanath Goswami would answer nature's call, that was the place that Srila Narottam Das Thakur would go and clean.
yes.
My Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj was saying that just like our pujaris go on their knees and they clean the altar after the arati, that was the attitude of Srila Narottam Das Thakur when he cleaned the area where Srila Lokanath Goswami would answer nature's call. It was like an altar for him. That was the Guru Nishtha, that was the Guru Seva, the Guru Prem that these acharyas had. Sohini Seva. But the reason I am telling this pastime is our revered founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ji did Sohini Seva every morning at 3 a.m. at the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Rupa Goswami. There is a book written by one disciple of Srila Prabhupada called Moola Prakriti Mataji. Anybody has heard of Her Grace Moola Prakriti Mataji? There is a book that you should all read by Her Grace Moola Prakriti Mataji. It is called Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All. Makhan Lal Prabhu, have you heard of Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All book by Moola Prakriti Mataji?
No.
It's a beautiful book.
Okay.
Very beautiful and very unique book. You know why it is unique?
Who has it?
I have it, but it's available online.
Okay.
Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All. Very unique biography of Srila Prabhupada. You know why it is unique? Because all the biographies of Srila Prabhupada, they focus on Srila Prabhupada's life as an acharya after he founded ISKCON. Correct? But this book, Moola Prakriti Mataji's book, Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All, she compiled it by interviewing different devotees from Calcutta, from Navadvip Dham, from Sri Vrindavan Dham, who knew Srila Prabhupada before Srila Prabhupada became a Jagat Guru, before Srila Prabhupada came to the West. So this book tells us what was the bhajan of Srila Prabhupada. The Goswamis of Radha Damodar temple, the Goswamis of Radharaman temple, the devotees of Vrindavan, they tell what a personality Srila Prabhupada was. One Goswami writes that every morning at 3 o'clock, he would hear someone cry loudly, "Ha Roop, Ha Sanatan, Ha Prabhupada." He would be crying. He said one day, at this Goswami lives in a temple right next to Radha Damodar temple. He said one morning, I was so curious, who is this great Mahabhagavat who is crying like this with so much emotion. I climbed up on my terrace and in front of Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi Mandir I saw your Guru Maharaj, Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, on his knees, holding a broom and doing Sohini Seva. Sweeping in front of Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi Mandir, crying out, Ha Rup, Ha Sanatan, Daya Karo, Daya Karo. My Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur has given me an impossible mission. Please give me empowerment, give me empowerment. This is Srila. It's not that Srila Prabhupada just got onto a cargo ship and became Parivrajakacharya, Jagat Guru. No, there is years and years of bhajan and tears behind that. Therefore Srila Prabhupada said, I have shed gallons and gallons of blood to make all of you devotees. It is not a cheap thing. Hare Krishna. All the acharyas have done Sohini Seva. Mirabai did Sohini Seva. There was no broom in Vrindavan. She did Sohini Seva with her choti, with her hair. Mirabai. And who told her to do that? Our Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami told Mirabai to do Sohini Seva. Sohini Seva is very important. We should all do Sohini Seva. But we are not in Vrindavan. How do we do Sohini Seva? Well, cleaning our mind. Cheto Darpana Marjana. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Annera Hridaya Man, Mora Man, Vrindavan. Mora Man, Vrindavan. So we have to do Cheto Darpana Marjana here. Vrindavan is in our heart. Unless Vrindavan is manifest in the heart, we cannot manifest Vrindavan outside. Why could Srila Prabhupada manifest new Vrindavan? Because Srila Prabhupada was carrying Vrindavan in his heart. Vrindavan is in the heart of a true Brajvasi. Vrindavanam parityaja padamekam na gacchati. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And who is in the heart of Prabhupada? Tomar hridoy sada Govinda Vishrama Govinda kahe namera Vaishnava paran. Tomar hridoy sada Govinda Vishrama. Govinda, Lord Radha Govind are in the heart of a Vaishnava. And Radha Govind never take a step outside Vrindavan. That means in the heart of the Vaishnava there is Vrindavan. Where there is Krishna, there is Vrindavan. Because Prabhupada is carrying Vrindavan in his heart, he could establish new Vrindavan in West Virginia. Otherwise, how is it possible? Vrindavan in Appalachian Mountains of North America? Impossible. But Srila Prabhupada could do it because he is a Mahabhagavad. Sohini Seva. So, Dukhi Krishna Das took it to heart and every morning at 3 o'clock he would do Sohini Seva in Sevakunj, where the Ras Leela takes place. And because he had so much bhav, he had so much devotion, when he would do Sohini Seva, sometimes he would see the lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. Sometimes he would see the lotus footprints of Shyamsundar. Sometimes he would see the lotus footprints of Lalita Sakhi, Vishana Sakhi, Ashta Sakhis. He would see them while doing Sohini Seva in the dust of Vrindavan. He was in ecstasy. But one morning, when he was doing Sohini Seva, from a bush, a brilliant light was emanating. And Krishna, 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 this sound was coming. Dukhi Krishna Das was very curious. What is this? He went close by and he saw a pile, anklet of Srimati Radharani. Krishna premamayi Radha, Radha premamayo Hari, Jivane nidhane nityam, Radha Krishna gatir mama. Who wrote this? Yugal Ashtakam? Srila Jiva Goswami. Krishna premamayi Radha, Radha premamayo Hari. Radharani is Krishna premamaya. Radharani is personification of Krishna prem. And Krishna is personification of Radha prem. So even the jewels, the jewelry of Srimati Radharani are Chinmay. They are spiritual. Don't think that the jewelry of Radharani is some 24 or 22 karat gold. No. The jewelry of a Sakhi becomes Radharani's earring. Another Sakhi becomes her nose ring, her bangles, her ankle. These are all Chinmay. These are all devotees in Golok Vrindavan. We know this Siddhanta, right? Golok Vrindavan, nothing is jada, nothing is dull matter. Everything is Chinmay, everything is spiritual. So that anklet is also Sakhi of Radharani. She is chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna for Radharani's pleasure. Dukhi Krishna Das was so elated to have found the pile, the anklet of Srimati Radharani. He went and carefully picked it up. As soon as Dukhi Krishnadas touched the anklet of Srimati Radharani, his entire body was gushing with Krishna prem. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Romanchakam Shrutaram Bhagavad Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. He became overwhelmed with love in ecstasy and fell. Over there in Barsana, Srimati Radharani has reached her palace, and there Lalita Sakhi says, "Oh Radhika, one payal is missing, one anklet is missing." Srimati Radharani looks and says, "Oh really? Yes. I don't know where I dropped it." Lalita Sakhi says, "Oh, maybe at the Rasasthali you must have dropped it and not realized it." Radharani says, "Yes, maybe. Can you please go and check?" Lalita Sakhi says, "But now it's just morning time, Brahma Murta time. All the devotees must be doing parikrama. So okay, I will change my form and I will go." So Lalita Sakhi took the form of an old lady, old Brajvasi lady, and she went. And she's calling out in Seva Kunj, "Did anyone find a payal? Did anyone find a payal? My daughter-in-law, my bahu came to Vrindavan yesterday and she lost, careless daughter-in-law. She lost one anklet, one payal. Did anyone find it? Did anyone find it?" And here our Dukhi Krishnadas is clutching that, holding that payal to his heart and saying, "Ha Radha," and the payal is saying, "Krishna, Krishna." You know our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Srila Jiva Goswami explains, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a Yugal mantra. In Radha Sahasranam, 1000 names of Srimati Radharani, one of her names is Hara Devi, Hara. In the vocative, when you call, it becomes Hare. So we just sang Narsimharti, Garima chanted Narsimharti. Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. But that Hare is different from Mahamantra Hare. That Hare is a Sambodhan, it's a call to Lord Hari. That Hare is a call to Lord Hari. But in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is not Hari, it is Hara. Both in vocative became Hare. So Hare means Radhe. Hare Krishna means Radhe Krishna. Hare Ram is Radha Raman. It's Yugal Naam, it's Radha Krishna Upasana, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada gave us Yugal Upasana. So we chant the names of Radha and Krishna, but Radharani chants the name of Krishna. And Krishna chants the name of Radharani. And to give both of them pleasure, we, the Gaudiya devotees, we chant Yugal Mantra. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishore Jivane Marane Gati Aranahi Mo. This is our Upasana, Yugal Upasana. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Yugal Mantra, Radha Krishna Mantra. So Dukhi Krishnadas, he was holding the payal of Radharani to his heart. And Lalita Sakhi in the form of an old lady wakes him out of his ecstasy and says, "Baba, did you find the payal here? My daughter-in-law lost her payal yesterday." She says, yes, Maya, I found a payal, yes. "Okay, what will you do? You are just a sweeper here. Come on, give me that payal. It's my daughter-in-law's." Now, Dukhi Krishnadas, he had a divine inspiration. He said, "Maya, you are saying this is your daughter-in-law's payal. After a few minutes, another Mataji will come and say it was my payal. Then another Mataji will say it was my payal. How do I know that it is in fact your daughter-in-law's payal?" Now, Lalita Sakhi is short-tempered, you know. She said, "So you think I am lying? Am I lying?" No, Maya, you are not lying, but just bring your daughter-in-law with you. Just bring your daughter-in-law, then I will know that it is daughter-in-law's payal, and I will give. What to say, what to speak of giving, I will personally tie it on her leg. No problem. Just bring your daughter-in-law. I want to make sure. Naughty sweeper, Lalita Sakhi says. She goes back to Barsana. In the spiritual realm, there is no limitation of time and space. So immediately she went to Barsana. She told Radharani. Radharani said, "Hey Lalita, you came empty-handed? You did not find my payal?" Lalita Sakhi said, "I found it." "Oh, you didn't bring it?" "That sweeper who found your payal is very naughty. He says he wants to see the owner of the payal, only then he will give. He will not give it to me. So now what is to be done?" Radharani smiles and says, "You be the mother-in-law and I will be the daughter-in-law. Let's go." So Lalita Sakhi says, "Srimati Radharani, I understood. Today you want to give your mercy to that sweeper. That's why you left your payal there. Your payal doesn't come off like that. It's not an accident. You want to give your mercy to that Baba. Okay, let's go. So Lalita Sakhi, this is a mother-in-law, and the daughter-in-law is Srimati Radharani herself. So Radharani takes the form of a Bahu, a very shy daughter-in-law. She covers her head with a long pallu, and she's walking behind the mother-in-law. Lalita Sakhi goes as a mother-in-law and tells Babaji, Baba, look, I brought my daughter-in-law with me. You can see for yourself. It is her payal. So Dukhi Krishnadas looks at the beautiful form. He cannot see anything. It's all covered with sari pallu. She's covered. So he asks, Ki, Bahurani, is this your payal? So she doesn't speak. She just nods her head like that from behind the pallu. So Dukhi Krishnadas says, all right. Lalita Sakhi says, come on, now give it back. He says that you can bring anybody and she can do like this. But I will know that this payal belongs to your Bahu only if she shows me both her lotus feet. In one lotus ankle, there should be a payal and it should be missing from the other side. Only then I will know that it is truly hers. And I will match. Both the payals should match. So, Bahurani, can you give me darshan of your lotus feet? Haribol! Munindra vrinda vandite triloka shoka harini prasanna vaktra pankaje nikunja bhuvilasini vrajendra bhanu nandini vrajendra sunu sangate kadakarishasi hama kripa kataksha bhajanam. What did Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami say? This was Lord Shiva's prayer. Radha Kripa Kataksha Stotra Shiva. Our Vedasar Prabhu says that this is the national anthem of Vrindavan Dham. Yes. So what does Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami say? Mayyamatma pada padma tasya dastu radhika kumkumatma kanchanabja garvahari gaurava pitananjyadavja gandha kirti nindi saurava Ballavesha sunu sarva vanchitartha sadhika Mahyyamatma pada padma tasya dastu radhika. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Govinda Lilamrita is saying Mahyyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika. Oh Radharani, give me service to what? Pada padma, your lotus feet. And Dukhi Krishnadas is saying, give me darshan of your lotus feet. Only then I will know that it is your payal. Srimati Radharani stepped ahead and told Lalita Sakhi, you move to the side. And she lifted up the end of her sari to show her beautiful lotus feet, which are the object of meditation. Munindra vrinda vandite triloka shoka hari, which is the object of meditation of all the munis and rishis. Those two lotus feet were being beheld now by Dukhi Krishnadas. And he saw that yes, one anklet is missing, one payal is missing. But by taking darshan of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, he felt such a surge of ecstasy in his heart, he almost fell unconscious. He gave the payal back to Srimati Radharani. This is yours. His hands were trembling in ecstasy. Please take, this is yours. Sorry I made you come here, but I was greedy to take your darshan. Please take it. Srimati Radharani took that payal from the hand of Dukhi Krishnadas and touched it to his forehead like this. And that payal made an imprint, a divine imprint on the forehead of Dukhi Krishnadas, and it became his new tilak, the Shyamananda tilak. Srimati Radharani said, this will be your tilak. And did you forget your promise to my mother-in-law? You promised that if he brought me and I proved that it is my payal, you will yourself put it on my foot. So now come on, put the ankle on my foot. So immediately Srimati Radharani is engaging Dukhi Krishnadas in the Manjari Seva. This is a Seva of the Manjaris, to dress up Srimati Radharani. So Dukhi Krishnadas put that payal around the lotus foot of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani said, I will not let you go like this. I will give you your Ishta today. I will give you your worshipable deity today. And from her heart, Srimati Radharani manifested a beautiful deity of Shyam Sundar and gave it to Dukhi Krishnadas. Even Dukhi Krishnadas. Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari. Her Prananath, Mat Prananathastu Seva Na Para. Her Prananath Shyam Sundar, Srimati Radharani gave to Dukhi Krishnadas and said, you serve him. He is my life and soul. I am giving you my life and soul. I am giving you that person who is most dear to me, Dukhi Krishnadas. Please serve him and always be happy. And because you gave me so much pleasure by doing this Sohini Seva in Vrindavan, by giving me my payal back, my name is, he is Shyam Sundar and I belong to him, so I am called Shyama. One who belongs to Shyam. I am Shyama. So your name, because you gave me so much pleasure, your name will be?
Shyamananda.
Yes. Our Dukhi Krishnadas, first he was Dukhiya. Then he became Krishnadas. And now he became? Shyamananda. You gave me Ananda, you gave me bliss. Your name will be Shyamananda. You are mine. You are mine. So you are Shyamananda. So Srimati Radharani gave 3 things to Dukhi Krishnadas. Can you tell me one by one? What was the first thing?
Tilak.
Tilak.
Name.
What about deity?
Krishna.
Yes, Shyam Sundar. Yes, he gave the deity, Shyam Sundar. He gave 3 things to Dukhi Krishnadas. And then Srimati Radharani disappeared. But before disappearing, Srimati Radharani told something very important to Shyamananda. She said, whatever happened, do not disclose it to anyone. Shri Narottam Thakur says, Apanera bhajan katha na kahibe yatha tatha. Don't talk about your bhajan. Don't talk about your divine experiences to anybody. Apanera bhajan katha na kahibe yatha tatha. Otherwise it will be gone. Krishna doesn't like it when we make a show of our ecstasy. Very few times Srila Prabhupada became overwhelmed with ecstasy, could not control. It was here in New Panitadham when Srila Prabhupada was chanting Parama Karuna Pahuduija. And second time it was in Gorakhpur, in front of Radha Madhav. Shri Hanuman Prasad Poddar Bhaiji's Radha Madhav, and Prabhupada was singing Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihar. Srila Prabhupada became ecstatic. It was Bhaiji who gave the facility to Srila Prabhupada to print his three volumes of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam before coming to America. A dear friend of Srila Prabhupada. So, Srimati Radharani said, don't tell this to anybody except your Shiksha Guru who engaged you in this Sohini Seva. That is Srila Jiva Goswami. You can tell Jiva Goswami, but don't tell anybody else. So Dukhi Krishnadas, now he has become Shyamananda. With his tilak and with his deity of Shyam Sundar, he went to Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami said, there is no need to tell me anything, I already know. As the Leela was unfolding, Srimati Radharani showed everything to me. I know you have become the recipient of Srimati Radharani's mercy. Jiva Goswami embraced Shyamananda. He said, Bas, khub bhajan karo. Just continue. What you are doing is, you have attained the perfection. I am proud of you. A guru feels very proud, transcendentally proud, when a disciple succeeds in his or her bhajan. Therefore, it is our duty to take Krishna consciousness very seriously. That is the best service we can do for our Guru Maharaj. To be good disciples and to attain success in Krishna consciousness. But devotees were very happy with the success of Shyamananda. They saw that he has got a new tilak, he has got a new name. No longer his Dukhi Krishnadas, he is Shyamananda, different tilak. And he is worshipping his deity. Nobody knows where the deity came from. Some devotees were very happy, most devotees were very happy. But my dear friends, always in this world there will be people who are envious. Envious. They were spreading rumors. God knows he changed his tilak, where he got this tilak from. He changed the name that his Guru Maharaj had given him. Some devotees even took the trouble of going from Shri Vrindavan Dham to Shri Navadvip Dham to complain to Hriday Chaitanya Goswami. They went to Ambika Kalna and told him, Hriday Chaitanya Goswami ji, do you know that boy that you sent to Vrindavan? Oh, you mean Dukhi Krishnadas, my disciple? Yes, that boy who used to stay in your ashram and eat your uchishta, whatever remnants you left on your plate, he has eaten that and grown up. That boy has gone to Vrindavan and he has rejected you as the Guru. Rejected me? No, this is not possible. Yes, we are telling you the truth. He gave up the name that you gave him. No longer he is Dukhi Krishnadas. Now he goes by the name Shyamananda. The tilak has to be given by Shri Guru. Your tilak also he has rejected. He is not putting this Urdhva Pundra tilak. He is putting some other tilak only. He calls it Shyamananda tilak. Please come and verify for yourself. Our Acharyas explain, my dear friends, immediately Hriday Chaitanya Goswami, he understood what had happened. He understood the glory of Shyamananda. He understood that this was all Radharani's mercy. But to remove the suspicion from the minds of the people in general, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami played along. He said, okay, let's go. He knew his disciple had received the mercy of Radharani. But to show to the people the glory of his disciple, he went to Vrindavan with them. He went to Radha Damodar temple. Shyamananda was sitting and chanting. As soon as he saw Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami has come, he fell at his lotus feet. Gurudev, Gurudev, he has come, Gurudev. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, what Gurudev? You should be ashamed to call me Gurudev. You are not even wearing the tilak I gave you. You have given up the name I gave you with so much love. I gave you the name Krishnadas. You rejected my name. What kind of a disciple are you? Tell me, who gave you this tilak? Dukhi Krishnadas, Radharani had told him that Shyamananda, don't tell to anybody except Jiva Goswami. So how could he tell? How could he disobey Srimati Radharani? So he looked down, Shyamananda Prabhu looked down and he told Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami that Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I got this tilak by your mercy. Very good. I got this tilak by your mercy. You sent me to Vrindavan and that's how I got this tilak. It is your mercy. See the humility of Shyamananda Prabhu. It is your mercy, Gurudev. Acha, my mercy. How did you get this name, Shyamananda? Gurudev, it's your mercy. Again said, Gurudev, by your mercy I got this name, Shyamananda. Okay, if by my mercy you got this tilak, by my mercy you got this name, he took out his uttariya. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami took out his uttariya, his cloth, and gave it to Shyamananda and said, wipe out this tilak immediately. Wipe it out. I don't want to see it. Obediently, Shyamananda Prabhu took that cloth and started rubbing against his forehead. Very hard, very hard, very hard. But the more he rubbed, the more brilliant that tilak shone. Finally, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, you do anything, but I want that tilak out now. Rub off that tilak. So, Shyamananda Prabhu picked up a stone, and started rubbing it hard against his forehead to wipe out that tilak. The tilak would not budge, and his forehead started bleeding. But Guru Maharaj said, wipe it off. So, Shyamananda Prabhu was determined, even if he died, he was determined, I am going to rub it off. Guru Maharaj said. He was rubbing, bleeding. His entire face was covered with streams of blood. At that time, Shama Kishori Srimati Radharani could not tolerate this anymore. She spoke from the sky. There was Akashvani. Srimati Radharani herself spoke that, oh Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, it was I, your Swamini, who gave him that tilak. It is the imprint of my pile, and I gave him the name Shyamananda because he is a source of great pleasure to me, and I gave him the deity of Shyam Sundar. Please don't be angry on him. This was the plan of Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, that Srimati Radharani should come in front of everyone and give testimony that Shyamananda is a great devotee. That's why he came, although he knew. So then Radharani spoke. Now see the Leela. When Radharani spoke in favor of Shyamananda, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami started crying. He said, I am such an aparadhi, I am such an offender. I insulted a great devotee of Srimati Radharani. And I tried to do something against the will of Srimati Radharani. What kind of a person I am? People commit Guru Aparadh. But I am such a fallen soul that I have committed Shishya Aparadh. I have offended my own disciple. He embraced his Guru, his own disciple, Shyamananda Prabhu, and said, Shyamananda, will you ever forgive me? Shyamananda started crying. He said, Gurudev, what are you saying? There is no question of offending me. I am your servant birth after birth. Chakshudana Dilojai. Janma Prabhu said, you are my master birth after birth. There is no question of offending me. I am your servant. You can kick me. You can do anything with me. I am yours. There is no question of offending. No. I must be punished. I am an offender. Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, call all the Mahants of Vrindavan and let them decide my punishment. All the Mahants of Vrindavan were called, and there was a baita. And in that baita, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami said, I am an aparadhi. I have offended this great devotee Shyamananda, and I have offended Srimati Radhika Rani, who is Vrindavaneshwari Radha. Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivane Nidhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Tatyam. I have offended Srimati Radharani. Please tell me what is my punishment. I want to be punished. All the Mahants of Vrindavan said, oh Shyamananda, O Guru of Shyamananda, O Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, because you are insisting that you want to be punished, here is your punishment. Shyam Sundar is all alone. And without Radharani, we never worship Shyam Sundar. You see, Srila Prabhupada always taught us Yugal Upasana. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada always established Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Krishna Upasana. Shyam Sundar is alone. Radharani gave you Shyam Sundar. Shyam Sundar is alone. Your punishment is, you must find Srimati Radharani and get Radha Shyam Sundar married and have a 12-day festival in Vrindavan where, now listen carefully, this is the crux of the class, where there should be Akhanda Harinam, there should be constant chanting of Harinam, there should be service to all the Vaishnavas and prasadam distribution, and there should be lots of singing of Vaishnava bhajans in honor of Radha Shyam Sundar. So please conduct this grand 12-day festival. That is your punishment. This was the conclusion of all the Mahants of Vrindavan. Now Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami prayed to Srimati Radharani, Radharani, how do I find you? In those days, 500 years ago, there was no Loi Bazaar. You couldn't just go to the market and buy a deity of Radharani. The deities were self-manifested, like Radharaman, like Radha Shyam Sundar. So Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami prayed to Srimati Radhika Rani, and Srimati Radharani appeared in his dream and told him, there is this devotee in Vrindavan who has been worshipping a deity of me, Radharani, for many years, and I am alone there. So I am feeling separation from my Shyam Sundar, so please bring us together and get us married. Immediately in the morning, Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami went to that devotee and said, you have a deity of Srimati Radharani? That devotee said, last night my Radharani came in my dream and told me that I should hand over my service to you. So please take. Yes, I have a deity of Radharani. She is alone. Please take. So Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami brought the deity of Radharani to Radha Damodar temple, where Shyamananda Prabhu was there with his Shyam Sundar. And a great festival for 12 days was carried out, where Radha Shyam Sundar were duly married. Vivaha Samskar. Sometimes people say that Radha Krishna are not married. What is this? Yes, Radha Krishna are married. They got married. And 12 days there was kirtan and katha and beautiful celebration and devotees were served. Prasadam was distributed. In this way, Radha Shyam Sundar are even today present in Shri Vrindavan Dham, in the Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar temple of Shyamananda Prabhu. So this story, my dear friends, we narrated because it shows the path of devotion. Path of devotion means to remain true to our Guru Varga. Whether it was Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, whether it was Jiva Goswami, what did Shyamananda Prabhu do? He followed the instructions of Shri Guru. If we follow the instructions of Shri Guru, Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyeta kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. All the meaning of the scriptures will be automatically revealed. We should have complete faith in Shri Guru and Shri Krishna. So now these beautiful festivities are coming up. Snan yatra is coming up. Jagannath yatra is coming up. Panihati festival is coming up. So let us be united. Let us be enthusiastic. These are not ordinary festivals. These are very special festivals, very special events. So let us be united and let us participate with great enthusiasm and devotion for the pleasure of our Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Shyamananda Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Snan Yatra Mahotsav ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Yes, Garima?
Prabhu, you said that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but Krishna went to Mathura and then he went to Dwarka and then Hastinapur, so he left Vrindavan, right?
Srila Jiva Goswami explains that the Krishna of Vrindavan, Vrajendranandan Krishna, never leaves Vrindavan. The Krishna who apparently left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, then went to Dwarka, went to Kurukshetra, went to Hastinapur, that is an expansion of the Krishna of Vrindavan. But the Krishna of Vrindavan never leaves Vrindavan. He is always there.
So Krishna expanded himself.
Yes.
And then that Krishna went to Mathura.
Yes. So Jiva Goswami explains this in his commentary to the 10th canto. He says something very interesting. He says, in the jail of Mathura, to Vasudeva and Devaki, one Krishna was born. And in Vrindavan and Gokul, to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya, our Vrajendranathan Krishna was born. When Vasudev Maharaj at night carried in the basket that Krishna and kept him next to Yashoda Maiya, both the Krishnas merged into one. And grew up in Vrindavan for 11 years. When Krishna had to leave Vrindavan, the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj remained in Vrindavan. But the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, that Krishna, went with Akrura.
So why was the gopis missing Krishna?
Because it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Shukadeva Goswami explains that later on Krishna only says that to increase their love for him, he was hiding. He disappeared from their vision. Krishna never lives in Vrindavan, he was there. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is mentioned that Krishna would meet the gopis at night, even when apparently he was absent from Vrindavan. The gopis would dance with Krishna, they would meet Krishna, they would embrace Krishna. But then again, they would think it was all a hallucination. Actually, it was not a hallucination. Every day Krishna would meet the gopis. But he was just hiding from them to increase their love. Increase their love. So if you go for a play date, does Champanada Mataji miss you? Then, yes, she misses, I know. Then when you meet her, Garima, then when you meet her after some separation, then she embraces you, no? Oh Garima, how are you, beta? Like that. Or your father does that. When a father goes for business, he's working. When he sees you after a long time, his love increases. Isn't it? So to increase the love of Radharani, increase the love of the gopis, Krishna hid from their vision. But he never left with them. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
What happened to the Gauratai that after
In Ambika Kalna?
the guru of
Yeah, Gauridas Pandit.
Gauridas Pandit, after he left the world, what happened to the Gauratai that
So if you go to, where is Mataji? Ujeshwari Ratika Mataji? You tell Mataji to take you to Mayapur Dham. There is a place called Ambika Kalna. In Ambika Kalna, there is the temple of those Gauratas are still there. Mahaprabhu's Or is still there. And Mahaprabhu's Bhagavad Gita is also still there. And if you tell the pujaris that you are a disciple of Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, they will give you darshan of that Bhagavad Gita. And they will give you darshan of that Or. Because Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj helped those devotees of that temple, gave some American technology to them to preserve that Bhagavad Gita in a climate controlled box.
Yes.
So they are very grateful. I went there and I said, I am a follower of Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So they showed us. You go to Jagannath Puri, you go to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching Vedanta to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took some notes. Those notes in the handwriting of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya are still there in his house. And again Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj gave them a climate controlled box to preserve it. So if you go and tell them that we are from ISKCON, if we are followers of Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, they will give you darshan. My mother-in-law, my wife, they went, they told and he gave. He took them inside the house and showed them that box. So you go to Ambika Kalna, the Gaurmita deities are still there. Okay? You will go? Yes. Yes, Krishna.
So why did he have to go on the set? He didn't bleed.
Yes, that's why Radharani came and told him not to rub the stone. Radharani came and told him not to rub the stone. Naughty Shyamananda, stop rubbing with the stone. That is my tilak. Okay?
Why do we do snan yatra?
Sorry?
Why do we do snan yatra?
Why do we snan yatra? Because snan yatra is a special bathing, special bath for Jagannath. It is his birthday. Snan yatra is his birthday. So special bath. Okay? Special bath. Tell your mother to give you, tell Mataji to give you special bath on your birthday. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki we have our Sunday feast sponsor, Pramod Agarwal, is not here, and his wife Divya Agarwal. They're sponsoring the feast in celebration of their son Sal Agarwal, his birthday. But they're not able to be here, so we'll request Naveen to do the arati. So, I also wanted to give you a few updates before we start the arati. We are heading towards a lot of big festivals that are coming up. We have coming on the 22nd, on May 22nd, is going to be the Snan Yatra of Lord Jagannath. And I hope you'll get to hear all the stories of the Snan Yatra festival. So, the program will start at 4 p.m. It will be Kirtan, Abhishek, and everyone will get an opportunity to personally bathe Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Devi. It's a very beautiful festival that happens here. So it's going to be at 4 o'clock. We'll send you the details in the email and also in the WhatsApp group. That's going to be on the 22nd. And also wanted to announce that actually we'll do it after the arati. So let's do the arati first. So everyone can face their lordships. Prabhupada ki jai. So, back to our little announcements. So we just wanted to announce that as this festival is coming, Rath Yatra Pani Hafti Festival, we would like to have each and every one of you participate in the festival to make it a success. Because this temple is yours. This temple does not belong to any individual. Srila Prabhupada has said that all these temples are homes where everyone can come and claim it. And from here, we can get our spiritual nourishment. This is what home is meant for. Where we come, it is also very important. We try to make sure that we try and show up every Sunday to nourish our hearts with the association of devotees, kirtan, and a beautiful darshan of their lordships. So we should try to make it a schedule. This is what Srila Prabhupada wanted. So, as this being our home, there's going to be approximately 2,000-3,000 devotees from around the US and around the world that come to celebrate this festival. And we would like each and every one of you to somehow participate. Children can participate in coming and dress competitions. So get into the mood of celebrating this Vedic culture of this Rath Yatra festival. It is something that Srila Prabhupada started when he was 5 years old. So you're never too young. And every day he would think about the Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. So at a very young age, he was nurtured in this culture of bhakti. And this is the culture that we all grew up in. So it's good to get everyone involved one way or another. If you're working, you can still get involved. So those of you who would like to volunteer to get involved in the festival and maybe on the parade or cutting the vegetables, cooking, washing pots, decorating the Rath cart, coming and chanting and dancing, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. There's so many opportunities to be engaged in seva. And this festival cost us almost around about $50,000 to $60,000 just to put up this festival. And we bring the Rath carts. There's very, very massive Rath cart that is made and it's stationed in Florida. It goes around to all the big cities around the United States and they bring the Rath to the city, and Lord Jagannath comes to the downtown of every city that they have these Rath Yatras. So we have to rent the Rath carts, and we also are making sure that we have all the infrastructure in place. So there will be stages and tents that we'll set up, different booths. There will be a little museum that people can come and get more education about this beautiful festival and the Hare Krishna movement. So they're called the Festival of India. They come with a big truck. They set up the whole infrastructure. And they're also based somewhere else, and they come here and they do this all over the US. It's very nice. We also spent, they don't make profit, they do that as a seva. And so this year it's $11,000 just to get them here. So in this way, in Prasadam, feeding 2,000-3,000 people 3 times a day, it requires a lot of hands and a lot of hearts. So we would like to request you all to join us in bringing Lord Jagannath to all the residents of the city of Atlanta. And on May the 22nd is our Snan Yatra festival. It's a very beautiful festival. You can get so close to Lord Jagannath, you can come and personally bathe him. So I want to make sure that you pencil that date in your calendar so you don't forget. There's a lot of opportunities for seva. And on the Panihati day, on a Sunday, which is a day where you get the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and you get a big part of prasadam. that is made by the hands of Jagannath Swami Maharaj. He's been doing this festival since 1983 here in Atlanta. So it's a very unique festival that no other temples in the United States is able to maintain the flavor and the texture and the mood of this festival. So it's a very unique festival, and if you can make sure that you don't miss, it's something definitely to behold and experience. So just a few names of devotees who have come forward and sponsored. So we have Adi Gadadhar Prabhu and Radha Bhav Mataji. He was giving class. So him and his wife together, they sponsored the dress for the deities, for Radha Madan Mohan. So they sponsored $1,250. So let's give a big Haribol, and when you do Haribol, you have to raise both your hands. So they get the spiritual benefit 3 times. Thank you. And then we have Banabihari Prabhu, Banabihari Madhava Das. He sponsored $1,000 for doing the Arati before Lord Jagannath. Let's give him Haribol as well. Haribol! Thank you so much. And Ganga Mata Goswami, because when we bring the rough cards, it's there's a lot of expense to it. So she sponsored $5,000 for the Rath cart. Let's give her a big Haribol. Please help the children in praying for the devotees who are so happily giving their hard-earned money for the service of their lordships. Tony Mulchandani and family, they gave $1,001 for the Arati. And then again, Divya Agarwal, they sponsored $200 for the pot, Manihati pot. Divesh Patel, 501 for Friday dinner, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And many of you know Vinod Sharmaji. He's always doing service here in the temple. Not alone, but with his whole family. They have a family of, I think, around 30-40 people in Atlanta. And they're so deeply connected to the temple, they're always getting together to make sure that they're involved in every single festival. And they're so eager to feed everyone that comes to take darshan of Krishna. So he sponsored $1,500 for groceries. So that's what we have for you today. And we want you to all together pray for Sal Agarwal. He's 15 years old. And he just wants, he's disabled. He just wants the prayers of the devotees. It's very powerful, the prayers of the devotees. And we also have Rajeshwari Mataji. She's requesting the prayers for Govinda Geeta Mataji, who is her mother. And she's going through a cataract surgery on April 26th and May 10th. So we'll pray for these 2 devotees. So if you don't mind to raise both your hands, we're going to pray to the lordships. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, I forgot something. Chitta Virya just reminded me. Narasimha Chaturdasi appearance day of Lord Narasimhadev is on May 14th, not far. Not far. So we'll have a big fire ceremony and pray to Lord Narasimhadev that the anarthas, the unwanted material desires that we have in our hearts can be removed so that we can very beautifully, smoothly continue our spiritual practices. And everyone is invited to that as well, and it will start at 4 p.m. Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Please come and have the last darshan. The prasad will be served outside. Yes.